Each year, workers suffer approximately 125,000 hand injuries that occur when hands and fingers get caught between two objects or entangled with equipment. These hazards are referred to as pinch points. Pinch point injuries usually happen when the following occur. A person places their hands or fingers in the direct path or line of fire of an area of moving parts. Hands and fingers are caught or entangled in an area of extreme force. Individuals fail to pay attention or lack awareness of the potential hazards. Each of these are easily preventable with the four following factors. Eliminating the tasks that creates these injuries. Awareness, personal protective equipment, and training. It seems that eliminating the tasks that create injuries is an obvious solution, right? If you don't have to put your hands in a hazardous position, then you won't be susceptible to injuries. Unfortunately, many of the daily work tasks you must perform cannot be eliminated. It's the nature of what you must do each day to accomplish your job. That is why the next three factors will have to have not only your utmost attention, but your overall compliance in upholding these factors. One of the most reliable factors in preventing injuries in your workplace is just good old-fashioned awareness. Just paying attention to what you are doing at all times can eliminate many unnecessary injuries. All around us are tasks and activities in the workplace that can cause us to be injured by pinch points, such as hand placement, tool usage, and material handling. As we stated previously, many of the tasks you have to perform cannot be avoided, but if you are constantly alert, you can protect yourself from injuries. Awareness comes in two forms: a common-sense alertness of how to do a task the right way, and training in the correct way to do a task and use equipment. You may have worked around a pinch point hazard for some time, and eventually your actions become routine, and in many cases, second nature. As with anything, the more you do something, the faster you become at the task. This is a recipe for an injury. Slow down, be deliberate in where you place your hands, and do not get comfortable. Eventually, if you start getting comfortable and fail to pay attention to what you are doing, you will get caught in the bite. Slowing down, respecting the potential hazards, and being aware of your surroundings are only half of what you need to be safe. Make sure you are always wearing your personal protective equipment and inspect it before each use. Although the last line of defense against a pinch point injury, your PPE, proper gloves, footwear, is a necessity to ensure if you do make a mistake, your hands and extremities are protected. The last important factor is training. Often, pinch point injuries are the result of workers who are not properly trained and don't realize the dangers of the equipment or tasks, or take shortcuts, not covered in training, to get the work done more quickly. This typically will end up in a worker injuring themselves instead. Never perform a task without proper training by taking shortcuts or bypassing procedures. The consequences could be serious. The physical forces applied to a body part caught in a pinch point can vary. Injuries ranging from bruises and cuts to amputated body parts. It might surprise you to know that hand injuries alone account for 1/3 of the millions of disabling on-the-job accidents occurring each year. Most of these hand injuries are caused by pinch points, 80% of them in fact. You use your hands in some way for virtually every task you perform at work, so hands are constantly at risk for injury. It is critical that you keep your fingers and hands out of the way and protected when working with dangerous tools and equipment. A serious injury to your fingers or hands can result in a negative impact on your ability to work and your quality of life. You cannot possibly prevent every injury that could happen in the workplace or know when the injury is going to happen. You should, however, be prepared and know some safe work practices that can prevent accidents and injuries for you and your coworkers. Use tools to remove your hands from the line of fire when doing a work task that could result in an injury to your hands or fingers. Using tools such as push sticks or other equipment that keeps your hands away from a hazardous area are examples of how you can remove your hands from a line of fire. Avoid using fixed open blade knives. Always use a safety knife that limits the amount of blade that is exposed, as well as using blades that have a safety feature that allows the blade to retract when pressure is let off the handle. Never put your hand in an area where you cannot see it. Always wear the proper hand protection for the task you are doing. Understand the limitations of your gloves and what tasks they are appropriate for. Never work on an energized piece of equipment. Lock and tag out the equipment to ensure there will not be an unintentional startup while you are working on that piece of equipment. Be aware of your surroundings and what others are doing. If you are injured on a job site, you should report your hand injury immediately to your manager or supervisor as soon as possible. Even if the injury is small and medical attention is not required, you should still report the injury. This near miss or incident could alert others of a potential hazardous situation that could prevent a more serious injury in the future. If you are injured and need to seek medical help, also make sure you do so immediately. If you have questions about safety hazards or how to perform a task safely, do not be afraid to speak up and ask questions. It is your job to keep yourself safe as well as others that are on the job site. And remember, carelessness, taking shortcuts, and lack of awareness are the perfect scenario for a hand injury. Slow down, pay attention, and watch where those hands and fingers are at all times.